All right, we're a quorum. Let's call it to order. 7 o'clock. Welcome to the West River Modified Union District meeting. Anybody who speaks tonight, please identify themselves for the camera, both name and town of residence. Any additions or corrections to the agenda, folks? The one thing I would suggest is that we skip the consent agenda, we just take it off. In reviewing the minutes, there are enough things in there that I don't want to spend the time going through tonight where motions got mixed and crisscrossed and information got crisscrossed. I think we can just push those to our February meeting and it'll give us all a chance to go through them and really
And you should all have a copy.
do it. Everybody's got a copy. I've seen the emailed copy, but and it's going to take a little while to go through it, so I would suggest we push that off until the February meeting, just for time. Other than that, I think we're good to go. Okay, members of the public, if you want to speak to something that's not on the agenda, now is your time. If you're here to deal with something that's on the agenda, please, comment then. Yes?
Sue Jones, Newfane. I spoke last time I presented to you. I did not see that family and consumer science in the budget. I wondered if it was going to be in the budget discussion where it was warned, because that topic was tabled last meeting, to my understanding.
Well, the budget, tonight's meeting is mostly the budget and the
So-
things that surround it, so I'm sure it will come back up.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? All right. Anybody have any correspondence to report? I don't have anything. All right. So, old business. Let's get the debt documentation out of here because it's quick and sort of we have to do it, but it's not anything. It's no heavy lifting. The first thing we have to do is an acknowledgement of assumption of debt, where West River, because it's going to become the legal entity, is going to assume the assets and liabilities of Brookline, Jamaica, Newfane, Newbrook, Townsend, and Leland and Gray. This is for the Vermont Bond Bank in connection with the Leland and Gray School District bond that matures in 2028.
Yes, and just to follow up on that, there will be another one for the Newfane bond, but that is a bank, and it's not a bond, it's a bank loan. So this is just for the bond bank.
Okay,
Okay, just to clarify.
okay. And it needs to be signed by a majority. Oh, yeah, true.
Are there any others? You said two.
Just the two.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. So this has to be signed by a majority of the school board directors, and the actual text that we adopt at a regular meeting says, now therefore be it, whereas to establish and confirm that such indebtedness as an obligation of the Unified District Board of School Directors of the Unified District proposed to formally memorialize acknowledgement of its assumption thereof. And then we now therefore be it resolved that the Unified District formally acknowledges assumption of the Vermont, what's M? VMBB, Vermont Bond Bank, indebtedness evidenced by the above described bond, which is the Leland and Gray District Bond. A true copy of these presents and the Unified District's Articles of Agreement shall be sent to the Vermont Municipal Bond Bank. So anyway, we need a motion to adopt this, and then we all need to sign it as long as we vote to adopt it.
Happy to make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
So we should be clear on what the motion is. The motion is to approve or?
The motion is to adopt the resolution that I read, that the Unified District formally acknowledges the assumption of the Vermont Municipal Bond Bank indebtedness.
Okay, I just want to make sure we have it very clear in the minutes, what the motion is.
Okay, yeah, we can basically cut and paste this out for the minutes.
That'd be great.
Which bond?
The Leland and Gray Union School District serial bond issued 2008, maturity in 2028.
Oh, okay. And how much is that bond for?
1.445 million.
I'll
the
decline
balance,
to sign.
Nice job.
That's the balance left?
Yes.
Wow, you're good.
At the end of fiscal year 18, yes.
All right, so, more discussion? All right, all in favor of acknowledging and assuming the debt, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Okay, the ayes have it, motion carries. It has to be signed by everybody. Go down this way.
And then I'll give it to you, I'll take her.
Okay, the next thing is, we need to, it is an application for preliminary approval. This allows the Leland and Gray wood boiler replacement to be not counted against ed spending, right?
Well, no, it's.
Not all of it.
It's,
Why don't you explain it?
it's to, it's approved by the AOE, which there shouldn't be any problem with this. To approve it, it becomes an approved capital project, so it can help when you're over the threshold, it can become part of the exclusion, and in which I'm actually counting it right now as part of the exclusion in the tax rate, so. I was told it's sort of a formality, that this would be an approved project, so.
Okay,
And what's the total dollar amount?
They asked for a lot of information, which this is preliminary, so they want the scope of work, they're gonna want all of that. The total of the project is, we haven't got that yet, but estimated at about $550. And we're looking at about $150 of grant money, roughly. So somewhere in there. All those numbers are very fluid at this point.
Right.
and I guess the motion, the part that's sort of, that we approve says the school directors of this district have determined that a need exists to undertake significant renovations or additions to existing school buildings. The anticipated construction project will serve pupils in grades 6 to 12. The school directors hereby state that the need for the project is not a result of inadequate or deferred maintenance, and that the improvements listed are not maintenance. We then go on to request a pre-construction evaluation by the AOE, and then agree to submit the necessary documents. And then there's a scope of the project that's written by an engineer, and this is just preliminary, but it's just replace the current wood chip boiler, further scope to be determined. So, again, we just need a motion to approve that.
I will make a motion to approve that.
The application for preliminary approval.
That's what I said.
There you go. Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. It's been moved and seconded to, is there any discussion about the preliminary application for approval?
Well, I got a question.
Sure.
All right, so what was the part about it being put off or whatever, or something like that?
Deferred maintenance.
It's not
Yeah,
deferred.
deferred
It's not
maintenance?
deferred maintenance.
It's not deferred maintenance.
No, I know, because they've been working on it ever since it's been put in.
No, because it's replacement.
No, it's replacement of an outdated
Aged,
system.
yeah.
Any further discussion?
Have we gone out for other bids to find most competitive?
The bid process has not started yet. We're waiting for the engineer. We're working very closely with Wyndham Wood Heat, and they're actually paying 75% of the cost of the engineer to come in and write the RFP. And so once that, it will absolutely go out.
Any further? All right. All in favor of approving the application for preliminary approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The ayes have it, the motion carries. Yeah, and I'll sign this one. There we go. All right. All right, next is the budget continuing review. I don't think we've made, there've been no changes to the budget since, or you want to go through what little changes there've been? That's a
Yeah,
better idea.
little changes. So the only changes that I made was that we received from the AOE the Career Center 6-semester average, so that actually was reduced. So if you look on the summary data, that was a reduction of $30,000. And then the only other increase that I made was to reconcile the board stipends, which we discussed at the last meeting. And that was basically a difference of adding $7,500 to the budget, which now will cover fiscal year 19's deferred stipends for the directors and the board chair, and also the clerk, moderator, and treasurer, and then also including fiscal year '20 at the amounts that you decided. So those were really the only two changes that I made to the budget. The equalized pupils, which are not fixed yet, again, my disclaimer, went down just a tad by .50. So it's at 518.76. It was 519.26 when I was last here, so.
Did we lose half a kid?
Yeah. It will change again because not all of the districts or SUs have their data in and certified, so the equalization rate can't be set. So it will change, but I don't believe it will change drastically at this point.
Do you know when they'll be?
No, I think, they were saying that later this week that they should freeze them. They call it, that's what they say, they freeze the equalized pupil number, so hopefully that will happen.
Once they freeze it, it's final. Even if the data's not necessarily all in, they just sort of pick an arbitrary point and call it, or?
Yes.
That's when they expect to have the data, okay.
It's all different this year, I'll be completely honest with you.
Yep.
Typically, the data is usually frozen by, we get the data by December 15th, or, the latest I've ever seen is the 17th, and then it's frozen by the 20th. So it's all because of the census collection that happened this year.
Right,
So I can't tell you for sure, to be honest.
okay.
Sure. So I think we're at the point where we should probably make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that we approve, I think we'll do it in two separate sections. I think we should make a motion to approve the pre-K budget as presented, $5,307,139, and the 7 through 12 budget of $6,502,943.
Okay, is there a second for that?
Is that two separate motions, or you just split it?
We have to vote on them separately because of our articles of agreement, so I can do it as one, and then we can pick up the second one after, but we have to vote separately. Because Howie can vote on one, but can't vote on the other.
Oh, okay. So
What was your-
So then your first you'll make one motion to approve the pre-K 6 budget of
Yes.
5, so then we need a second of that motion.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the pre-K 6 budget?
I just got a simple question, and it actually applies to both budgets.
Sure.
It's a line item. The Board of Ed charges, or SU charges, is that what that means?
Can you give us the line?
No, I took my glasses off, it's a little harder.
So you're talking about in the elementary?
2811 in elementary, Board of Ed subtotal.
Right, so that is, it's not, it's the total of all the Board of Education. If you remember from the first budget, we had a category that was district-wide expenses. So the Board of Ed obviously would be in the district-wide, so I had to split those to do pre-K through 6 and 7 through 12.
I was just making sure that it was basically the SU money.
Yeah,
That's all.
it is partly, and it also is the board stipends and the salary and benefits. It's everything to do with the board, and then I split it by equalized pupil.
Yeah, that I figured, yeah.
I see.
Okay.
Lori, is that the bottom, page 2?
That is at the bottom of page 2. You are
Yes,
right.
okay, I see.
Okay.
Okay.
Into the color. It is also, so that's for, we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, so it's the same on both budgets, it's the split out of those expenses.
I have a question for Lori. Sure. Lori, I've never seen a budget proposal that doesn't show the existing money compared to what you're proposing. In other words, this piece of paper you printed out here doesn't show whether things are going up or down.
This entity has never been around before, so there really is nothing
So
to
there's
compare
nothing to
to.
compare, you can't put down, what, even your salaries and stuff, you can't.
The board decided not to do that and to present this budget as a whole unit, so,
Okay.
as has all of the other budgets that we've done with the new entities.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? All right, seeing nothing. All in favor of the motion to adopt the budget of $5,307,139 for pre-K 6 for fiscal 2020? Please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstentions?
I guess I have to abstain.
No, this is the one you can vote for.
No, we'll go to the next one.
Next.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm backwards. You're right. All right, so yep. All right, the ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The budget passes. So we've got half. All right. You had another motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the 7 through 12 budget, $6,502,943.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the budget of $6,502,943. Any discussion on that one?
Just that we make it clear that it's for the West River Education District in the motion.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, both of these should be for the West River Education
Yeah.
District.
Yep.
The budgets are for that. Okay. Anything else?
I accept that.
Okay. Howard?
Yeah, just want to, for the record say, I'm going to be voting against this budget. I disagree with moving 6th grade into the high school. I disagree with the prioritization of moving the 6th grade over providing courses. We're cutting courses for our high school students, and we're adding a 6th grade, and we're increasing the budget. So, sorry to say, I can't support it.
Any other questions, discussion?
I just want to make sure that it's clear to everybody that when we look at what the major increases in this budget are, that those are mostly, correct me if I'm wrong, the buildings maintenance money and the special ed increases, which are both sort of out of our hands, and that the other items are fairly level funded compared to previous. I just want that to be, while the overall increase exists in the budget, I want it to be really obvious to everybody where those increases exist. They don't,
Well, in
it's not necessarily clear.
yeah,
otherwise.
and healthcare went up 12%, and salaries went up 3.5%, and even with those increases, the budget is essentially flat without those construction. Yeah, salaries went down a little bit. Yes. Al?
So I just want to say, I am incredibly impressed with everybody who's worked on this. I don't think enough people get enough credit for what they've done. This is something brand new, a once-in-a-generation thing. This hasn't been done in 50 years, and I just think that the WCSU, all the leaderships for all the buildings just have done an unbelievable job in doing what is in the best interest of our kids, and I fully support this.
Agreed, thank you. Anybody else?
It's over the cost of living adjustment. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I'll chime in too.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for me, the problem that I have with this budget is kind of what Howie was saying, and I appreciate what Lindsay said too, but this budget does contain some things that are done by choice, and my concern is that I thought this Act 46 was supposed to make us more sustainable, and so as our first budget, we're passing a want a budget that makes us less sustainable. And sustainable growth is around 3%. So where I see where we could do things differently, and I know how the vote on the sixth grade went, but I'm just putting this out there for consideration. If we didn't do the sixth grade move, and if we accepted the cuts that Bob had already proposed, and then even though I agree with the food program, even if we held off on that because of our financial situation, we'd have a lot less of an increase and drive us more towards sustainable. Well, that's my 2 cents.
Thanks. Sure.
Bill, could you, I don't know if you can you chime in on what financially it would mean to hypothetically make the same Leland and Gray cuts while also not moving sixth grade? So all of the staffing changes that would go with that, what would that mean?
I would have recommended a reduction in expenses at Leland and Gray based on the declining student enrollment would have been even more severe. So I wouldn't have changed my recommendation at all, or my direction to my administrators.
Thanks.
Yeah, Drew. Sorry.
So my understanding is the staffing that we currently have is based on the student enrollment that we currently have. So where those students are enrolled, since we're all one district, really doesn't have a huge impact on the budget. We're just moving the available resources to the appropriate locations. So I think we've kind of beat that for the last 6 months pretty well.
Good point. Okay, anything else? All right. All in favor of the motion to approve the budget of $6,502,943 to, for 7th through 12 education, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Abstentions? Okay, so 2, 5, 6. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The motion passes. So that gives us a budget. Now we just have to work out the warning. And actually, so the draft of the warning that we have goes back to what we agreed at the end of the last meeting, where for fiscal 2029, the moderator and the clerk of the West River Education District are going to be paid $100 apiece, and the treasurer $500, and each director gets paid $400, and the chair gets paid $500. And then for 2020, moving forward, the moderator will be paid $250, the clerk and the treasurer will each be paid $2,000. The directors will be compensated at $1,000 per director and $1,200 for the chair. So as long as we're, and that's what's in the current budget numbers. The 2 budgets passed, so that language is right. Does everybody have a copy of the warning? No? Okay. All right. So, Article 8, Article 9 will be to set the annual meeting date for the 4th Tuesday in March again. Article 10 is the pre-K 6 budget, which says, shall the voters of the West River Modified Union Education District approve the school board to expend $5,307,139 for grades pre-K to 6, which is the amount the school board has determined to be necessary for the ensuing fiscal year. It is estimated that this proposed budget, if approved, will result in education spending of $17,457 per equalized pupil. Article 11 is the same, except for its grades 7 to 12, and it's $6,502,943. Equalized pupil spending on that is $22,828 per equalized pupil. And then Article 12 is the last article. Shall the voters authorize the replacement and upgrade of the wood heat boiler system at Leland and Gray Middle High School in an amount not to exceed $450,000 to be financed over a period not to exceed 5 years. That's the best guess estimate of the bank loan that we're looking for to replace the wood heat boiler. So based on the votes we took and the wood heat moving forward, that would be our budget warning. It lists polling places and times, which are pretty standard, and it also talks about the information meeting, which will be March 26th here at Leland and Gray in the library to discuss Articles 5 through 12, which are the Australian ballot articles, which will be in the fourth Thursday in March. Questions?
No, it's meetings.
Fourth Tuesday, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I misspoke.
Tuesday, vote is Wednesday.
Right.
The vote is Wednesday still.
Yes, it's at the bottom of your.
Yep. Questions? Want to see the copy?
I was just gonna say, I don't need to have it right now, but if we are approving this, could we have that email to all of us as board?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it should probably just get posted in with the minutes
Oh,
too.
yeah, no. I just wanted to make sure everything was right so that you guys.
Yep, got it.
Questions? Okay, we just need a motion to approve the warning. Anybody want to see it? If I had my computer, I'd email it to you right now. Actually, Bill probably will. We just need a motion to approve the warning, please.
So moved.
Thank you. Second? Second. All right. It's been moved and seconded to approve the warning as explained, I guess. Any further discussion on that? Any discussion at all? All right. All in favor of approving the warning, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The ayes have it. The motion passes. All right. Lost my agenda. All right. We didn't have any new business on here tonight. I don't think there's anything, that we had to discuss. As long as you all agreed with me that we could push the consent agenda off to February to give us time to edit the minutes, we just need a motion to go into executive session to do the superintendent's review.
So moved.
All right. Is there a second? All right, thank you. All in favor of going into executive session to conduct a review, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, we're in.